Hi there, everyone. I am Jessica. I am known as Iekikadragon on Ravelry and in my gaming groups, or just Iekika. And this is my channel where I get to talk a little bit about knitting, a little bit about gaming, and a little bit about life. So welcome, and let's get on into it, shall we? Let's start. I have a finished object this week, an FO, and I'm pretty excited about it. So here we go. I mentioned I didn't know if I'd be able to finish it. I did. This is my Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. I used the KFI collection Kettle dyed in Pumpkin and Sunshine. Oh, and it is fabulous. Let me adjust this real quick. It's making me nuts. There we go. It's a little bit better, maybe. Anyway, I am so happy that I finished it. Like I said, I kind of in my mind imagined the larger stripe end getting more yellow. I thought I'd have more time, I guess, but it just went too quickly. And I gave this to my son. The wonderful thing about these hats is you just kind of fold it in itself, and it's a double layered hat and it's nice and warm. Of course, we're in South Carolina, so it's much too warm to wear this now, but it will be ready for next year. So that's the thin stripe way to wear it, and you can always fold it up as well. And this is the thicker striped way, and he prefers this one, but you never know what kind of mood you might be in. I really enjoy this pattern. This is my first time not doing I guess the first one I made, I didn't do solid with that either. So no, but this was my first time kind of trying to plan a little bit. The other one I was like, I'm just gonna go till I run out and then I'll put a new color in. So, and this one I kind of planned it out a little bit. So, let's be real, I am not busting into the knitting designing thing at all. But I learned a lot, I think, about what the final product looks like, what you're imagining in your head, and how to go forward from there. And it's just stripes. It's not rocket science, but it's cool. I'm proud of myself for it. Yeah, so my Musselburgh hat. Oh, this was on my needles for 18 days. So I finished it 2 days after the last podcast, or vlog, whatever this is. And I forgot to put the progress keeper back in. I took the progress keeper out. I do have a picture of where the progress keeper was, so I'll put that right here. And I took it out because my son wanted to wear it, and it was somewhere in here, but I'll show you that. I had a lot more to knit before the decreases than I thought I did. I was kind of surprised by that. It always looks longer than you think when you're in that tube and you're just going, how long is this gonna be? And anyone that asks you what you're knitting when you're knitting it, they're like, that's a hat? What? That doesn't make any sense. And then you start to question yourself and you start to feel crazy. This fits well. He's very happy with it. I did an adult small, and it's probably a tiny bit big on him, but I figure by next year, hopefully it'll be great. So very pleased with this hat. So that's my finished object. Woo! Let's see. So now to my whips, my works in progress. I have been working on, but not very much, my Flirt skirt by Claire Jackson. I did not make a ton of progress on this week. So you can see my progress keeper right there. And I knit up to about there, a little over an inch maybe. And I just didn't work on this one very much, and that's because I got very excited about my next project, so that's why. And this is a great one to just kind of work on when you've got a lot going on in the background. So, and I had a slower week this week, and so I was able to concentrate on some things. So didn't work on this one a ton, although I would like to get this done by the end of the month. I am going to a wedding in the beginning of May, and while I may not wear it for the wedding, it would be nice to possibly wear it over the weekend, see how it fares. But I don't know if that's realistic or possible, so we'll see. I may work on this more this week. I did also put in another progress keeper here, and this will move constantly because this is just me counting rows because I have to do something every certain number of rows, and so that just helps me keep track of that without having to remember to do a hash mark or, you know, put it down in my knit companion every single row. This just makes it a little bit more seamless, like a little bit less like I have to think about it, and it just kind of naturally happens. So that's that. I will move my progress keeper right now, otherwise I might forget. I don't know, I've been pretty decent about it. I just don't remember to put them back in when I take them out, I guess. All right, progress keeper has been moved. Doo-doo. Dropping stitches left and right, perfect. Okay, so this has been on my needles for 11 days. Gosh, I should have made more progress. That's okay, I don't mind because I'm happy with what I did. It's been on my needles for 11 days. It is the Malabrigo Susurro yarn in Paris Night. This yarn it's been cool because it is a wool linen silk blend, which I've never knit with before, but I found it very strange because I have found what I call aggressive pieces of grass in it. And the reason I say that, because I've had other yarn that has grass in it. It's cheap, it's fine, I don't care. But I was knitting and all of a sudden it was a really stiff, hard piece of grass, and it just kind of felt rough, and it didn't hurt me, but it actually was kind of uncomfortable as I was knitting it. I'm like, what is that? What is happening? And it was what I call an aggressive piece of grass. So it just makes me laugh. So beware of aggressive grass in this knitting. I am enjoying it. I think it's going to be very pretty. And look, I love how it's catching the light like that. Because the linen, the silk, and the wool all take the dye differently, it just gives it so much dimension. It looks blue in some lights, it looks gray in others, almost black in some, and the lightness just makes it, I think that's really pretty. Yeah, it's lovely. Anyway, so I would like to wear this wedding weekend, so we'll see if I get it done. We'll see. That's a lot of pressure. We'll see. And was there anything else I wanted to talk about that? No. So the next work in progress that I have is my new one that I got obsessed with. I'm calling it birthday socks. So here we go. In my bag. Ta-da! Look how cute these are. Aren't these adorable? Okay. Let me tell you about them. So I'm calling them birthday socks because my oldest son said they look like a birthday cake, and I said, well, my birthday's at the end of this month, so perfect. They're my birthday socks. I would like to get them done by my birthday. That's 2 projects being done by then, so we'll see what happens. But I love them. I think they're great. I was nervous when I first started it. I was like, they're so busy, and I didn't have any yarn that I could use as a contrast color that I was happy with, and I didn't want to go buy more because I'm trying to stash bust a little bit. So just knit it all in the same color, and I was worried it was going to be too busy, but I don't think it is, and I think it's adorable, so I'm going with it. So the info on this one, this is the I'm So Basic Socks pattern by Summer Lee. It's been on my needles for 4 days. I started it Thursday evening. Didn't get much knitting time in yesterday, so I'm happy with the amount of progress that I made. But let me tell you a little story. Let's have a little story, shall we? So I was following this pattern with the written, this pattern is free, and she did write it down, and I was great. You know, the the cuff perfect, the leg perfect. You knit it to the length that you want, and she guides you through it, and it's fabulous. And this is a new heel to me, and you're gonna laugh because it's like the classic timeless heel, the heel flap and gusset, but I've never done it. And I've always done the fish lips kiss heel. I don't know why that's what I started with, but it is, and I stuck with it. So, okay, I'm gonna try the heel flap and gusset. I think I've figured out a way to do the fish lips kiss heel that it works on my heel. But I've heard that with my heel type that this particular heel will work better. So give it a try. I get in, the heel flap goes great, awesome. I get to the heel turn and I don't know what happened. There was the written directions, there were some errors in it, I think. And I watched, there's also, she posts a free video, and there were errors in the video that she corrected in the written directions that I think were still incorrect. And I was not computing. It very well could be, because I think other people have knit these socks just fine from that pattern. I'm gonna say it's most likely user error, me being the user, but I could not, for the life of me, get this heel turn done. And I was going nuts. So I ended up turning to the Crazy Sock Lady on YouTube. I watched her video. Luckily, the numbers were the same. I don't know how I got that lucky, but the Crazy Sock Lady's numbers for the heel flap were the same as what I'm doing. So I just used hers to do the heel turn. And that was the only way I could get it done. So I made all of these notes because I use Knit Companion and I'm paying for Knit Companion so I can write notes on it. So I wrote all these notes on the pattern in Knit Companion so that hopefully I can repeat it for the next sock and they match. But I did it. I made the turn. I've tried it on several times, and it is fitting like a dream. So I'm so excited for this. I am still working on the foot. I do like shorter socks. They're not shorties, that's too short for me, but I don't like up the calf really either. So shorter socks. I'm working on the foot. I'm getting close to where the toe is, but not quite. I'm maybe like 3/4 of the way there. So the yarn is, I should probably tell you that. I think I said it's been on my needles for 4 days. The yarn is Huasco, Huasco, Huasco sock, and the colorway is 106 Guacomayo, which I love the name, Guacomayo. I don't know why they named it that. And they recommend on the yarn label to use 2 skeins and alternate them so that way you get a truly random, or whatever wording they use, no pooling, I guess, sock. And it seems I understand that a lot of people do that because they don't like pooling, but it just seems not necessary to me. Because look, this particular one, I kind of like how it's going down in these circular diagonal rows around. I think that's cute. I did get, where I did the heel flap, a little bit of pooling, and I think that would have happened no matter what. It would have happened down here, it would have happened up here, because there's one long line of blue, and it kind of turned into green, that wraps around, and that would have happened anywhere. So there's this little spot here. It happens right where my foot will bend. So it really doesn't bother me. I love how it's kind of doing this circular thing around. I think it's fun. I don't know what happens or why I must flip directions, but it's like the circular goes this way up top and then it goes this way on my foot. Don't care. I love it. I don't know why. Maybe when I make my next pair, it'll be the opposite. I have no idea why that happened. No, I guess they're both, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I love them. I love the color. This it's white in there, but because there's so many speckles and color, it gives it kind of this beige, I don't know, it's not even beige, it's just this blend of colors. Your eye can't choose what color it is. So there's so many speckles in it, but I love it. I'm having fun. Heel flap and gusset, first one. So yeah, let's see. That's it. Those are my works in progress. I didn't get another one on the needles. I went through my stash. I pulled this out. Karen Cakes, Big Cakes. What color is this? Toffee Brickle, what a cute name. Anyway, I've had this, I made a sweater for my kid. Obviously, I thought I was gonna need more than I did. And I was like, what am I gonna do? I looked up, there's these really cute cardigans that I was thinking about making, but you need more than one, and I didn't wanna go buy more. Stash busting, Stash Bust Spring with, AKA Nora Knits. So I'm going to make a corner to corner blanket. I'm going to make it as big as it gets. I would like to use up next to this, like as close to this whole thing as I can get. So I'm gonna knit till it's about corner to corner, halfway used up, and then I'll start the decreases. No pattern. I think it'll look pretty coming out in these stripes. And then my plan is, because I don't really have anyone, I think right now, that needs a blanket or needs this size blanket. We do have a yard sale coming up, but I'm not gonna get that done in time. So I think I'm just gonna donate it. One of our neighbors, well, several of our neighbors are nurses, and then we have two neighbors that are doctors. And I think I'm going to get in touch with one of them and give it to them to donate to the hospital. They can take it wherever they think it will be needed. And I'm just gonna donate it. So that's my plan with this. I'm gonna call it the Get It Done blanket. Get her gone. Get her gone blanket, because I want it out. I want it out of stash. I want the project out of the house. Just get her gone. So that's what I'm gonna get on my needles this week and finish up 2 projects, right? Okay, let's be realistic. That's not gonna happen. So that's my next project. It does recommend a size 4. It's a medium, 5mm US 8 needles is what it suggests, or a 5mm US H hook. I don't think I'm gonna crochet it. Oh, that would be fun too though. But I think I'm just gonna do corner to corner knit. So, and I'll just use the recommended needle unless I feel like it's too big. If it gets too holey, then I won't, because nobody wants a super holey blanket. So that's my plan. I'm gonna get that on the needles today. Today, maybe. It's tax day. So I have been getting them done, but you know, it's those last finishing touches, you gotta get it done. So that's that. As far as gaming goes, let's move on to my gaming section. I was supposed to have 4 games this week. One of them ended up getting postponed for reasons and that are not mine to share, so I'm not going to. And I did end up playing the other 3. So we did play on Monday night our Pathfinder Agents of Edgewatch game. And I played Hydrangea Heatherfoot. So, and we also played that again this past Friday. It was a 2-for week. I'm not really sure why the GM wanted to start playing on some Fridays to keep the game more consistent, I think, rather than 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So we also played this past Friday, and we were in this old abandoned house type thing, and we're supposed to be protecting this guy who all these people want to come, and he was our prisoner because we're policemen, so I guess is prisoner? Yes, he was our prisoner, but we were supposed to be keeping him safe, keeping him alive, and waiting until the higher ups figured out what to do with him. All politics, right? Which I'm not even interested in real life. So we were keeping this guy safe. All these people like knew where he was. It was supposed to be a secret. Everybody knew where he was, and we never figured out why. I kept asking, okay, how do I feel about this person? Is there any magic? Is there anything? And I rolled so poorly every single time. We never figured out, and I have like pretty high numbers. She's an investigator. Never figured out how they always found us, how everybody in the city knew where this dude was. So it's a mystery. I have no idea. It's crazy. Made me a little frustrated. Obviously not the game's fault, not the GM's fault. It was just unlucky dice. So what can you do? No story, just it is what it is. Anyway, we got to the end of that chapter. We got to level up our characters. As once we kept this dude alive, and we did a good job. I'm pretty proud of us. I had some heavy hitter moments, which was pretty great. I was the only one that could hit one monster for several rounds, which isn't normal for my character. And then I went down at one point, which is also rare because I'm usually so far away and everyone else is in melee. I'm usually so far away, but there was one creature that every time you hit it with a ranged weapon, it could teleport to you and hit you. And I'm a ranged character, and so of course I'm really easy to hit. My AC is so low, and it just pummeled me. It had multi-attack, and I was pummeled. So it made it exciting, it made it interesting. This particular character, let's keep her away from the bad guys, okay? So anyway, it was fun, it was funny. I did use, so I mentioned before, Paws. I did use Paws, my animal companion, in one of the skirmishes. But, you know, I just wasn't super effective as an investigator ranger. So our GM lets everybody, when we come to big epic moments where our characters would have a lot of downtime, kind of re-outfit our characters, change our characters around if we're unhappy with how it's going, which is super generous of him. That's so nice. So I decided to take Hydrangea Heatherfoot out of being a ranger, and I said goodbye to Paws, which was a little hard because I'm a super big animal nut in real life, and it is a fictional dog, but it doesn't matter. And moved into becoming a bard, and bards have spells, and this is my first real time playing Pathfinder, so I don't know how spells work, so this will be an adventure. But I think looking over this, it's going to be more effective for who she already is as an investigator healer. This will help her become more effective and a better team player. So I am excited about that. I sat down with the GM for hours as he helped me try to figure this out. Restructuring her almost completely. You know, her healer and doctor stuff and investigator stuff all stayed the same, but we had to restructure a whole lot of things. And so he sat down with me and helped me with that, which is amazing. So you can follow him on Twitch if you're interested. Pepperial, Pepperial on Twitch. We should be playing again this Friday. So yeah, that's that. The other game I did play was Tomb of Annihilation, where I play Galaith, the barbarian, and she, with this particular one was a travel episode. We're traveling around the map. We did have some skirmishes along the way. There were some I don't remember what they're actually called. These little flying monkey characters came and tried to steal all of our really good weapons. But we made quick work of them. That didn't happen. Got our weapons back. And spoiler alert, if you're playing this game and don't want to know what's coming or anything, I don't think it's a huge spoiler, but just in case, just skip it. Skip it, move on. Tomb of Annihilation. So we made it to, did you skip if you wanted to? Okay, here we go. We made it to the lost city of Omu, and we kind of just got there, and there was some graffiti on the walls and we found a guy who was covered in debris. We ended up rescuing him. He's exhausted. There were like these dogs around that were eating his dead companions, and so we rescued him. He says that he knows some things about this lost city and can help us. Told us some things about some religious temples there, and answered some questions about the graffiti that came up. And also, so we started to make our way towards the closest temple that he was telling us about, and we were attacked by some gargoyles that were high up on the wall, on the steep walls, and they came down and they took off with our little mouse companion. His name is Darwin, and they got the net around him, not around anyone else, and they took off flying with Darwin into the sky up 60 feet in the air. And then Walter cast command as well as Darwin. They both used their turn to cast command. No, sorry, that's not true. Walter casted command, he upcasted it, so it landed on 2 gargoyles to drop, so that they'll drop the net, so that Darwin starts to fall. And they both made the save. So Walter used silvery barbs, Darwin used silvery barbs on the other one, and then they both failed it. It was amazing. And they were like, okay, so their next turn, he's going to drop Darwin. They're both going to drop Darwin, drop the net. And then the DM said, and that's where we'll end it. It's like, blah, oh no. So little bit of a cliffhanger. That one you can watch. That's on Sundays evening for me on the East Coast, Sunday evenings. And that is streamed by Maan, M-A-A-N, on Twitch. So you can watch that one as well if you're interested. So those are my games this week. It was a lot of fun. I was so tired yesterday though because of life. So in life stuff, we started, we're back into the swing of normal life. We've got sports, we've got games, we've got, you know, just normal school. We've got all that stuff going on. We had a friend come over to our house to visit this weekend. We went over and visited a friend for a little bit. So busy, but not anything too crazy. And then my husband and I worked on staining our pergola out in our backyard. And I was up on the ladder staining, not painting. We were staining. We used paintbrushes, so my brain keeps saying that we were painting. And I was up on the ladder, and this ladder had been giving me grief, and it like walked itself a little bit, and I lost my footing and I fell. And it hurt quite a bit. I only fell probably about, I think it's like a 6 to 8 foot ladder. I'm not sure. I'm terrible at that stuff. It's taller than me, so it's got to be like a 6 to 8 foot ladder. I was near the top of it. I tried to catch myself on the pergola, but the ladder caught my foot and dragged me down. My foot was caught up in the ladder and like had bent some of the metal, and it was hurting, but my husband, you know, was out there with me, climbed down, got my foot out. I did not break anything, which is amazing, but I did bust myself up a little bit. Like, I don't know if you can really see it, but I'm bruised all through here, scraped, bruised, both arms. My ankle's a little swollen, but not terrible. It's not broken. And obviously my back end where I hit, but it could have been a lot worse. I didn't hit my head on anything, nothing broke. So I'm very thankful that I've never fallen off a ladder before. That scared me so much. So I was brave. I did climb back up on the ladder after I cleaned myself up and started standing again because we had to get it done. I wasn't going to leave my husband out there to do it all by himself. So we got it done. Our pergola looks really nice now. I'm happy about that. The funny thing about it all was that the stain, of course, dropped and went all over me when I fell. Not a huge deal. But it is an oil-based stain, and a whole bunch of it landed in my hair, like it was on my face and in my hair. So it's not going to come out just with a little good old washing because it's oil-based, so I had to use paint thinner in my hair to get it out. I think I got most of it out. Oh, we'll see. My poor hair. It was like, oh, what a mess. It was falling. It was, what a mess. Anyway, so that was my big life adventure this weekend. Another exciting thing is I have volunteered for a turtle rescue in my area. Well, yeah. And we don't necessarily rescue any turtles ourselves, but we check the beach every single day when it is turtle season in our area. And we, if we notice anything like stranded turtles or turtle nests or anything like that, then we call the people in charge of the turtle rescue, and then they take care of everything. So I can't really talk a whole lot about it because they don't want a bunch of misinformation going out on the internet. And they post official things that are sanctioned and allowed. So I probably won't be able to really talk about it if I do happen to see anything, but mostly you just end up walking the beach every day. I am excited about it, and our first official meeting is this week, and it will kick off and everything will get started. So that's going to be probably a pretty big part of my life for the entire summer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I guess the only thing to say is if you ever do see a turtle that you think is injured or stranded, please don't touch it. Just immediately call either the police or your local turtle rescue, and they will come and take care of it and get it to safety or give it what it needs. But definitely don't touch it, and don't touch any baby turtles, and don't touch any nests or anything like that. So yay, that'll be fun. Okay, so, and to finish up, I think I will talk about my reading this week. I did mention last week that I had finished A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I am on the fence. She made it interesting enough that I'm kind of interested to see what happens with the second book. It's an easy read. It's light reading. Not always my preferred style of reading. I'm not super into anything romance related. So we'll see. Maybe I'll read the next one. Maybe. But it was good. What I didn't make any progress on Grandma Gatewood's Walk, although I am still close to the end, so maybe I'll get through that one this week. I made a lot of progress on Grandma Gatewood's Walk. Who's that by? Ben Montgomery. And the other one was, oh no, I don't remember who it's by. Oh, excuse me. Okay, right. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I made a lot of progress on that one. I listened to that one while I was doing things around the house or while I was knitting. So I only have, I think, an hour left of that one because I'm doing that one as an Audible book. And I've enjoyed that book. I think it's well written and I think it's a cute idea. So, but I love sea creatures, so that's not surprising, is it? And I also started, I use that word a little bit loosely because I actually started it a long time ago, but then set it down because I was reading too many things. So, but I knew I wanted to come back to it, and that is Demon Copperfield by Barbara Kingsolver. I love her writing. I think she is just an amazing author, and so I've been enjoying that book. And that one I'm reading on my Kindle, but I usually read it right before I go to bed, so I get, you know, like 2 paragraphs in and then I fall asleep because I've been so tired lately. But yeah, so that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm knitting. That's what I'm gaming. This has been fun. I'm gonna cut it short. Gotta go get those taxes done. Yikes. So happy knitting, happy gaming. Thanks for visiting with me. I hope you have a great week. Bye.